Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, the 27th of May 2025, and we're here for a licensing subcommittee meeting today. First and foremost, we will go for election of the chair. Ben Attrell, can I pass it over to you, please?
Thank you, members. Can I have an election or a suggestion for chair, please?
Nominate Councillor George Madgwick.
Happily second.
Thank you very much.
You,
My first time chairing a meeting in a couple of years, thanks to the chair stepping aside for the day. Declarations of interest. Members, do you have any reasons or declarations to announce? No? Wonderful. Other than shopping in OJ's a few times, I have no declarations to announce at all. I took her in there for the first time about 3 months ago. She had a field, or 4 months ago now, she should be a field day. Anyway, housekeeping. If the continuous fire alarm sounds, please evacuate the room and the public gallery by the stairwells. Do not attempt to use the lifts. Please assemble the Queen Victoria statue in the front of the civic offices. In order to comply with the Guildhall Fire Trust Marshal regulations, anyone who's signed into the Guildhall reception desk should sign out when leaving the building at the end of today's meeting. Please can everyone use a microphone and remember to switch them off after they have finished. Now we'll go to introductions around the room, just so everybody knows everybody. Anyway, so say I'm Councillor Madgwick. I am from the Paulsgrove Ward, and I'll go to my left first of all.
And I'm Councillor Emily Strodwick, and I represent the Hilsey Ward.
And I'll go to my right.
Councillor Stuart Brown, representing Fratton Ward.
Perfect. Now we'll go to officers. On my left first of all, please.
Anna Martin, Democratic Services.
Ben Attrell, a solicitor employed by the council.
Nikki Humphreys, Licensing Manager.
Jasper Ojla, World Hot Limited, MD.
Taran Ojla, General Manager.
Perfect. Thank you very much, everybody. So the procedure today should be relatively simple. First of all, we will go to the licensing officer to present the case, and then we'll go step through step if you've not done this before, and make sure everyone's happy at the end. So first of all, can the licensing manager present the case, please?
Good morning, members. This application before you today is for the renewal of a sex establishment licence, namely a sexual entertainment venue, for the premises called Elegance and located at 1 Granada Road, Southsea. The reason why this matter has come before your panel today for decision is on the basis that we have received one objection from a local resident to the renewal of the licence. Members, I am going to keep it because the report is quite hefty, so I'm going to keep it as brief, and then maybe if you've got any questions arising, that's probably better focused for questions. I'll focus on the fact that we have, the application was advertised in the correct manner. There were some concerns raised in terms of the public notice. It's on a blue piece of paper, and the email address to contact the licensing authority was also in blue, so it didn't make it particularly easier. However, that was addressed, and I'm satisfied that the notice was duly and properly advertised both on the premises and in the newspaper. As paragraph 6 advises, we did consult as a matter of process with other local, authorities and PCC services, and we received no objections from any of those sources to this renewal application. So paragraph 7, members, this is the objection that was received to the renewal application. You will note that there is a considerable amount of correspondence in relation to the objection. This was due to my reporting officer liaising with the resident in terms of the concerns that were raised, imparting information in terms of the regulatory control that this licensing authority has on these types of premises, and to establish whether the objector was happy that those arrangements are in place. However, as you can tell from the substance of the report, the objector wanted to maintain the objection, and that's why it's before you today. The report obviously gives you, on page 8, all of the legislative background to dealing with sexual entertainment venues in terms of their different definition and activities. And there are statutory grounds for refusal of a licence and discretionary grounds for refusal of a licence. Members, advise you today that there are no statutory grounds for refusal of the application, and therefore you should focus this hearing on the discretionary grounds which are set out on page 11 onwards. Members, you do have a policy and you do have guidelines, and those are set out in the report for you to have reference to. Should point out that the Public Sector Equality Duty and the Human Rights Act have been carefully considered in the preparation of this report to you today. So members, I won't go further. You have a copy of the application form. There was references in the background papers to any relevant documentation, so it's really before you today to determine whether you are satisfied that the application can be renewed or not.
Thank you very much, Nikki. Just passing over to Ben quickly for comment.
Thank you. Just before you move to questions, can I just suggest one minor typo amendment in the report? And under the recommendation, currently subparagraph C states that the subcommittee has considered. Can I suggest that be amended to be strike that out and replace with the subcommittee consider its statutory duty, and that subparagraph C be changed from italic to standard or indeed bold text so that it matches A and B above. That was suggested as an amendment in the initial report, but for some reason it must have just been missed. I think it's just a minor typo.
No worries. Just to avoid later, both my committee members happy with that recommendation? Yeah. Okay, fine. We'll approve that recommendation, Ben. And there's no objection to him changing the wording at all from the applicant. Wonderful. Perfect. So now's the opportunity, if you do want to, is to ask any questions of the licensing manager about the process or anything else like that. So this isn't you presenting your case, but have you got any questions at all, or are you all good? No? Committee, do you have any questions at all?
Just one.
Yep, no worries. Councillor Stradwick.
Just to clarify, on the objection, it says, I quote, "I'm fed up with this owner trying every few years to reopen." Nikki, can you just clarify it's because of the renewal process, that's why it's happening, rather than this place keeps closing and opening?
Yeah, this is purely that the licence is only valid for 12 months. It's not related to the trading of the premises. It's just the licence has to be renewed every year.
Wonderful. No, I have no questions either. It seems pretty standard and the report's really thorough, so thank you, Nikki, for that. Moving on, it's now your opportunity to speak about the case. If you want to tell us anything or why you think we should grant the renewal, it's your choice if you'd like to say anything or not. So over to you if you'd like to.
Yeah, we've operated since 2000 without objections, and none of the authorities have ever had anything untoward to say about anything. The premises have been closed for a while due to COVID and just staffing issues. We're due to open, we opened last week, and it's now operating again. So, you know, with the fact that the police have always been happy with us, I don't see a reason why our application shouldn't be approved.
Perfect. Happy? Wonderful. Committee, any questions at all of the applicant? Well, this is a first. I've never known this before. Honestly, first in my experience. So what we'll do now, just very quickly, and this seems a bit silly after you just spoke, is we'll just go to summing up. I mean, is there any other questions or anything anybody wants to say at all before we finish? And you're happy? Everybody's happy? Yeah? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go to summing up quickly. You don't have to sum up, but it's a legal process we have to go through. So it just gives you the ability to conclude anything you'd like to say prior to us going into a closed session to make our decision, okay? So to the licensing manager first, do you have anything to say that you want to sum up? No. Wonderful. Applicants, do you have anything you want to say to sum up? No. Wonderful. Okay, so in the quickest subcommittee meeting in history comes to a close. We will go into a closed session now. We'll deliberate. I can't imagine it being more than 15 minutes, Ben.
I think 15 15 or 20 minutes.
15, 20. Let's say 11:30. So what we'll do is we'll re-adjourn here at 11:30 to read out the decision. If you see us in the hallways, if you pop into the toilet for a fag or anything, then don't come and speak to us because we're not allowed to speak to you legally. It's not that we're being rude, it's just we're not allowed. So before I close the meeting, then there's definitely nothing anybody else wants to say. Happy days. So I'll close the meeting now at 11:10 and we'll re-adjourn at 11:30 for a decision. Thank you.